Different with Dr. Wolf, the change agent.
Going on. And a lot of people believe that. There's a guy, a psychiatrist, his name is Carl Jung. He was a student of Sigmund Freud. And my opinion is Carl Jung to Sigmund Freud is like 3 dimension to 2 dimension. He took the dimensions of understanding what is a human being to a whole other dimension. But what Jung provided was something he called ways of knowing. How do people know stuff? How do people decide how to move through the world, whether to do this or do that? Now, he said there's 4 basic ways of knowing, and if you think of north, south, east, west, north, or 12 o'clock, he had as thinking. So some people, he said, are thinking people. They're thinking. So they know how to act and what to do and all that, because they figure it out. This makes sense. That doesn't make sense. This is right. That's wrong. These are thinking folks. Now, on the other end, south or 6 o'clock, you have feeling people, feeling function people. So these people make decisions in the world based on how it feels. This feels good. This doesn't feel good. This feels right. This feels not right. I like it. I don't like it. That's how they would navigate through the world. And instead of thinking that believing that only thinking is the way of knowing, what Jung said is, hey, your feeling brain, your feelings will inform you. It's a way of knowing stuff. Now, he said there were two other major ways of knowing. One was sensation, meaning, I think of sensation, people are, this is somebody, if he or she can touch it, they can fix it. There's sensation. They know by what they feel and what they touch and what they see and what they sense and what they smell and all of that. This is really, these are people that move through the world knowing in their bodies what's so. And then the fourth way, which is west, right, 9 o'clock on the clock, would be intuition. Intuition is a funny one, because intuition is a way of knowing that isn't any of the others. So it's not thinking, and it's not feeling, and it's not sensation. It's just somehow you just know something. Sometimes you just kind of know, and there's no information. I don't know if any of you out there can identify with any of these particular ways of knowing. And then there's a test, a very popular test called the Myers-Briggs, M-Y-E-R-S, Briggs. And it is frequently administered in corporations to corporate executives and so on. And it helps them figure out how they think. Myers-Briggs test. It's based on this idea of there are 4 ways of knowing. Now that's a contribution, because until then people believed it was only thinking. That's the only thing that mattered. And so people who would have feelings about things were dismissed. What does she know? Well, she just has feelings. But it ain't that way anymore. Because now the whole concept of emotional intelligence has really entered the mainstream and is beginning to enter into modern education. Daniel Goleman, who is still the forefather of introducing it, he does a lot of his work with corporate executives. A lot of the work in emotional intelligence is done with corporate executives and nurses and so on. And my particular interest has been working with emotional intelligence. And of late, it's been adolescents, teenagers on probation, and giving kids information that will help them make better decisions in their lives based on knowing how to deal with their feelings. And so when I started working with these kids, I was teaching the Taming Your Anger program. By the way, I have a website, tamingyouranger.com, like taming a lion. And I welcome you to go over there and check it out. And you can buy some books. You can buy Building Blocks for Emotional Intelligence. You get an e-copy. I think it's $10, and a hard copy for $20. And I developed the Building Blocks for Emotional Intelligence because I had to give these kids something that they would understand. I had to understand it. I knew I could teach them how to deal with their anger, but I wanted to give them more so that they could figure out how to deal with some of the dilemmas in their life. So I did, and there's we're making a documentary film of that project I did in a school in Long Beach, California, and you can watch part of it or all of it at remedyforrage.com. Remedy, R-E-M-E-D-Y, the number 4, rage, R-H-G-E, remedyforrage.com. And you can watch that video about how these kids learn to work with their emotions. But I'm going to give you this is the Building Blocks for Emotional Intelligence. I'll give you some. And outlined in the book. But most people don't even know what an emotion is. So, what's an emotion? I'm going to ask you, what's an emotion? Say it out loud, whatever you think it is. Okay, good. Now, what's a feeling? Okay. Now, most people will answer, let's say many people, most people, when you ask what's an emotion, the response is, oh, it's a feeling. It's a feeling. And then you say, what's a feeling? And they'll say, well,